Hi, so long story short, I'm launching my own UI design course. There's gonna be a very special price and some special features to everybody who's gonna do a pre-order. And pre-orders start today. But before we get to that, here is some hard truths. Customers buy with their eyes, these two things that you have here. If your app has like the best possible UX, but if it's ugly, then nobody's gonna even check it out. So that's the truth, that's how it happens. If your app is just amazingly well done in terms of the flow but looks bad, people are not gonna be interested enough to download it. That's just how it works. Let's start with an observation, because I follow the industry quite a lot. And I follow it because I want to help junior designers, obviously, but I also follow the job postings from all kinds of companies, because I want to know what are the standard hourly rates for UX, UI designers. And I've noticed something very interesting. So I came across a couple of very interesting job postings from pretty large Central European companies. And these are pretty big companies. All of them are employing over 100 people. So these are not small startups, these are established brands. And what stood out the most about those job postings was that senior UI designers were being offered a lot more money than UX designers with no UI experience. And even purely visual roles like UI designer with very little UX knowledge were still being offered more than all those people whose visual skills end on low fidelity wireframes. I've been talking about this shift in the industry towards more hands-on, more hard skills and more agile approach since 2019. And it's finally taking shape. It's just happening and it's really good to be on top of that. So to get the best of both worlds, to be a UX/UI designer and get the most out of both your time and your money, I think it's important to know UI well. As some of you know, I've done the Google UX course, and I've noticed that while most of those UX exercises that people did were pretty good, they were able to actually do those personas, do those empathy maps, and it was pretty good. It was like the thought process actually worked and it was conveyed well. But even when it came to the low fidelity wireframes, it was pretty clear that these are the skills that are not as easy to learn as all of that other stuff from the UX process. And of course, when it came to the high fidelity designs, the problems were even bigger. So why are designers with visual skills being offered more money? Let's explore this. Some of you probably know that I'm not a big fan of the UX industry. I'm a part of it, but I'm not really a fan of how it works. And the main reason is that since 2009, there has been a lot of people with just no hard skills that are good at talking and kind of ideating, but they have no actual skills in design. And those UX talkers have been taking over the industry. And the problem with that is, of course, they can have good ideas, but without those visual skills, they can't communicate them properly. And if you separate the roles to one person that does the thinking and the other person that does the designing, there is gonna be a communication gap between them because we're only human. We can't, always communicate that well. So some of these ideas simply can get lost. Of course, I'm not talking about UX researchers here. They are an important part. What I mean is that we should go back to this simple division of roles. UX researcher is the person who does the research, and then a UX designer is the person who uses that research to come up with the design solution and then takes it all the way to the high fidelity designs, which means basically designing the UI. So in short, I believe that UX designers are mostly necessary and good when they also do the UI design. And that's gonna be a shift happening even in the bigger organizations, because right now this is something that happens in all of the medium and small ones, but it is slowly making its way back to the big corporations as well. Okay, so why UI? Let's start with the obvious. UI is not art. So that means that you don't have to be painting landscapes and, creating masterpieces and making photorealistic sketches of humans to be a good UI designer. Because basically it is placing rectangles on a rectangular canvas and placing them in the right spot. So the right size, the right distance and everything. It's all numbers. It's not about art. And almost everybody can learn UI design. They just need to have a good source of that information. So here we go. I just finished the Google course, and for months I have been helping junior designers for free on Twitter with their portfolios, their projects and their resumes. And I've noticed a couple of trends, both in the course and in those portfolios. I've noticed that many of those junior designers are making the same mistakes that are very simple to actually take care of. They are just so simple that it's mind-blowing. So after writing the same kinds of comments over and over, analyzing those problems and finding out the best safe solutions for junior designers once they don't really have the experience and they need something that just works right now, I came up with an idea for a course. It's gonna be about 2 hours long in video, and it's gonna have some extra reading materials. So it's gonna be easy to follow. That's one thing that I really wanted. But it's also not gonna have a lot of filler. So I'm not gonna tell you my life story in the course. It's just gonna be the important stuff. So we're not gonna be wasting your time, because time is precious and it's best to spend it, actually designing, not really watching videos when somebody's just talking to make the course longer. And of course, because it's condensed, you'll be able to go back and pause and do those exercises yourself as well. So in the course, we will be designing a mobile app in mid-fidelity. Now, of course, what I mean by mid-fidelity is what most people, including Google, consider high fidelity. So the super high fidelity that we do at Hype 4 is gonna be an extra course after this one. So for this one, we will be using colors, fonts, gradients, proper spacing, proper margin, good use of white space, and everything to actually make those designs look good. But we don't want to intimidate you at the very first course with super high fidelity designs, because this can be pretty tough. So the idea for this course is to learn all the best practices and all the safe paths, because if you're a beginner, it's very important to know those safe paths. And this is gonna help you design a lot better at your current experience level, and of course, as you grow as a designer, you'll be able to expand on that knowledge as well. I'm gonna share my entire design process with you. This has been my little secret for the last 20 years. I'm also gonna share all my tips and tricks to make better designs with very simple shapes, very simple objects, and very simple alignment techniques. The course will launch on June 10th. We are starting pre-orders today at $35. And for that money, you will get both the course and a special free round of feedback after you complete the course, so you won't have to wait for those peer graded assignments. I'm gonna grade all of your assignments personally, and I will give you very detailed feedback on what you did right and what you did wrong, because I believe that's the best way to learn. After the pre-orders finish, the price is gonna go up to $59, and there's gonna be an extra $50 for that feedback round. So basically you're getting a $109 value for $35 today. So yeah, it's awesome to finally do this. You can pre-order today using the link in the description below. And also, after this course is done, we will be making that super high fidelity course, which basically is gonna show all of our secrets and how our designs look so good. So this second part, if you do a pre-order, is gonna be 50% off for you when it launches as well. We just want people to get better at design.